the topic. So our topic is Introduction to Detailing and Drawings. Okay, for the introduction, so detailing and drawings are fundamental components of the construction process, providing the precise visual and technical information required to guide the execution of a project. These detailed drawings translate design concepts into actionable plans, offering clear instruction for dimensions, materials, connections, and assembly methods. So class, take note that whenever we deal with detailing and drawings, hindi lang siya yung detail mismo dun sa drawing. Or meaning, going back, let me just share these plans. Not sure who's the one who submitted this for approval. So hindi lang siya ganito. I mean detail. Ito, hindi lang siya detail as in yung mga ganito. So part of the detail are the other informations noted in our plan. So like the schedules, the elevations, yan yung actual details, and also includes yung ating plans kasi plans and tsaka yung mga general notes like this one. Okay? So these are the um part of the work aside from the structural detailing, more on yung the creation of the structural plan itself, including the detail. So yung overall na may kinalaman sa structural discipline. And then, accurate detailing ensures that the construction teams understand the intricacies of the project and can build according to the architect's or engineer's intent. So, if our structural drawings are um, lacking in information, so it would be hard for the construction team to construct that on site. So whenever that cases happens, the construction team normally sends a shop drawings or RFI o ang tawag natin doon is request for informations for them to further understand what is the intent of the engineer. Kasi if not, it would be very hard for them or they might construct something that is not according to the intent, making the construction project a non-conformance or non-compliant. Okay, whenever the construction team send out shop drawings or details na kulang doon sa ating construction, so it should be approved by the design engineer or yet instead of waiting for that thing from the construction team, so it is better for the engineers na gumawa ng design to provide yung mga certain informations or details nung isang construction drawings. Okay? The learning objective, so at the end of the session, so you students should be able to analyze the difference and application of the different projections and symbols and patterns used in detailing. Apply the different symbols and patterns and dimensioning to detailing procedure. And then lastly, understand the use and importance of detailing aids and dimensioning in detailing. Ayan. So, ito yung target natin within the day. Kumbaga, magkaroon kayo ng idea paano basahin yung plano at ano ba yung mga nakalagay sa plano. Okay. Accurate detailing has an important role in the procurement and durability of the reinforced structures. The actual process of detailing normally comes relatively late in the procurement process. So without accurate without accurate detailing, um, we might purchase something that is not required or that is out of the standard or the actual intent of the project. So ayaw nating mangyari yon. So that's the reason why it should be accurate as much as possible. The engineers doing the designs should make sure to incorporate all the informations needed in the plan. And then also somehow if as yung gumagawa nung details added all the necessary information, it will make somehow the durability of the concrete structures or meaning the intent is there, the requirement is there. So we would be able to purchase and construct kung ano talaga yung actual intent of the project kaysa yung manghuhula yung nasa construction. Okay? Concepts and working details can be decided during the early design phases, but the preparation of final reinforcement drawings and schedules is generally squeezed into period between completion and final design and the start of the construction on site. So let me just share the plan again. So whenever we have a project, so nagkakaroon kasi tayo ng mga percent submission like 30%, 50% complete, 70, 100 hanggang issued for construction na. So normally, there are details na inilalagay na natin at the very beginning like the plan kasi importante yan kahit gagalaw-galaw yan later on. Then, etong mga typical details, this one. Saan pa ito? Yung mga connection, yung mga ano to, connection, yung mga um, saan pa? Mga other details. Ayan, may pa hagdan, may stairs dito eh. Eto, stairs, ayan. So, yung mga ganyan na later on hindi naman siya magbabago kahit magkaroon ng changes sa intent ni architect. So, we normally include that para andyan na siya. Then, yung sinasabi dito na final reinforcement drawings and schedules is generally squeezed into period between completion of final design and the start of the construction. Kapag patapos na, meaning wala nang changes halos, tsaka na natin pina-finalize yung mga ganitong detail. Ito, yung schedule of beam, etong bar bending. So, typically, nandiyan na yan sa una. Kasi, typical naman yan eh. So, kahit anong mangyari, hindi na yan mababago. Ang mga nababago pa, eto yung schedules ng column ba 'to? Column C1, C2, 'yan. Eto schedules naman ng footing, etc. So basically, with this, we would be able to finalize that kapag wala nang changes na gagawin sila architect and yung mismong client natin. Now, kaya siya nai-squeeze sa medyo patapos na. Yun nga lang minsan that is prone to errors na may mga na-overlook na later i-discuss natin. So, yun, that's the this is the one that I am referring to in terms of the details or schedules that are added later sa phase ng ating construction, nung ating design and detailing of the drawings. And then, issues such as site constraint, relevant standards, laps, covers, concrete grades, holes, detailing preferences must be all covered doon sa ating plan. Now, if there are cases na hindi natin siya na-cover again, there are times na the construction team raises a query or yung RFI, yung request for information sa atin to provide such informations. So again, for them not to ask that informations later on, so might as well add that in the drawings para complete and make sure that whenever you add information sa drawing, it tallies with one over the other or meaning nag-uusap yung mga informations na inilalagay natin doon sa drawings. Okay? And then, drawings and schedules can be prepared by a detailer. Okay? So, pwedeng tayong gagawa kung ang task natin is a detailer. Once drawing and schedules have been completed, they usually checked by the detailers themselves. So, tawag dito is self-check. So, we make sure we conduct self-check bago natin ipa-check sa designer. Okay? Para ma-check naman ng designer yung kanyang design intent kung if it is within the compliance of the standards and appropriate and appropriate regulations. And then it is checked by the contractors for buildability or yung constructability and completeness. Kung may kulang, RFI sila or magsha-shop drawings sila. Okay? And then, communication of reinforcement detailing information from design office to site must be as efficient as possible. Traditionally, ang gumagawa ng detail is designer. Then pinapagawa sa detailer. Now, ang tawag natin doon, designer detailing, wherein all the details come from the designer. On the other hand naman, kapag may mga kulang, tapos kailangan ni contractor mag-prepare, or if there are details na pinipare ni designer na gusto niyang i-alter para sa constructability based on their methodology. So, um, ang tawag sa kanya is contractor detailing. So let's check the difference between the two. So pag sinabi nating again, designer detailing, nanggaling to sa designer tsaka sa detailer niya, yung isa naman is contractor. So this column shows the advantages and disadvantages and then of pag si designer and then pag si contractor. On the other hand naman, advantage ng contractor detailing sa disadvantage ng designer detailing. So basically these three bullets, yung una, it is integral part of the design. Okay, so the detail is tailored based on the demand of the designer or based on the intent of the project of the designer. And then another thing is that that the production of reinforcement details by the designer detailing can take place while the design is still being finalized. So meaning habang ginagawa niya or habang tinatapos yung design, pwede nang simulan yung detail na later it saves time. Okay? Kesa mag-aantay pa ng ilang mga panahon bago conduct ng or bago gumawa ng detail dahil nga si mismong designer naman yung gumagawa ng detail. And then another thing is that preparing clear design information for contractor detailing takes longer and is likely to be late than sa detailing ni designer kasi nga bago pa magsimula yung construction, may detail na. On the other hand, pagka si contractor yung aantayin mo, so during the construction pa, so magtatagal. And then another thing naman dito, somewhat disadvantage naman to kapag si contractor detailing is that it we always need a recheck. So kailangan i-check ni designer yung detailing. The reason why is that pag si contractor hindi niya pwedeng gawin yon kasi ang magiging liable si contractor kapag siya yung nag-detail tapos hindi niya pinaprobahan. Pero kapag approve yung detail ni contractor by the designer, so ang liability nun goes with the designer kasi siya naman kasi talaga dapat ang nagpo-provide ng detail. Okay? Pero on the other hand, there are still advantages kapag contractor detailing. Etong first three na to, so it is based on the working methodology, selection of the material ni contractor based sa preferred nilang material or yung na-purchase nila, meron silang preferred method and yung construction program. So these three bullets circles on the working methodology, meaning gumagawa si contractor ng detail kasi yun yung madaling i-construct sa site. Yun yung kaya nilang gawin. Yun yung kumbaga pwede natin sabihin tested na nila na kayang gawin yung procedure na yon. On the other hand, another one is eto namang designer detail may require reworking kasi nga there are cases na yung mga detail coming from the designer would be very hard para sa contractor. That's why the contractor improvise another detail para mag-work yung project. Now, again, with the approval. So, meaning, merong sariling detail si designer, hindi mag-work, magbibigay ng bago si contractor. So, yun naman yung disadvantages kapag designer detailing. Kasi, more often, may mga cases sa site na later nag-a-arise na hindi alam ng designer and contractor. Now, since contractor yung nandun sa site, sila yung makaka-estimate and evaluate yung gravity of that error. So, tsaka nila ina-address. Okay? And then, yun, drawings and scheduling. So, drawings are prepared so that the designer can communicate his requirements in a clear, concise, and unambiguous manner. It is important to ensure that drawings are not unnecessarily congested and complicated. Now, whenever we prepare, maliban sa kompleto dapat, clear and concise, so the drawing should be clear and hindi siya congested, meaning yung siksikan doon sa drawing. Makikita nyo naman dito sa mga examples natin na magkakaiba sila ng approach. Then makikita nyo din kung madumi ba tingnan, pantay-pantay ba yung mga text height, o pinagpe-paste na lang ng mga tao yung detail. Ito katulad nito, hindi pantay-pantay yung text. Tapos ito maliit. Tapos ito medyo malaki. Ayun, maliit, hindi na mabasa. So if you're working sa isang company na well-established ang standard, papaulit lahat yan. Kasi, pagka ipinasa mo na yan sa third party na gagamit, so may mga cases na mahirap basahin, so dapat readable. May mga cases na hindi siya maganda tingnan. Tsaka we normally apply yung ISO standard. Kaya yung mga company pinapa-ISO standard sila, meaning meron silang set of standardization of everything. Kahit simpleng text height, kasi nga that's how work should be. And then hinahanap din yun ng mga clients na kung yung company mo ba is ISO standard, meron ka bang sinusunod na guidelines, etc. Okay, and then meron pa mga examples dito eh. Eto, katulad nito, iba yung itsura nung text, tapos iba din to. Tapos yung eto iba din, yung height iba. Ito ang lapad, yung yung width factor. Ito simple lang, ito napakaliit. So hindi siya consistent. Okay? So sa plate nyo later, ina-expect ko na aayusin nyo whatever presentations are done. Tsaka hindi siya siksikan katulad nito, siksikan. Okay? So normally, ang ginagawa natin is that sa first few pages, sa una, general notes, ito. And then, next is plans. Structural plans. Pangit itong plan. Di pa tayo sa iba. Ito, mas maganda plan ito eh. Plan. Tapos, sa next plan, schedules. Ganon. So, normally, pinag-ihiwa-hiwalay natin para mas madali siyang masundan. Kasama ng mga plan, yung framing plan. Ito yung framing plan. Ayan. Or yung ibang ginagawa, foundation, kasama niya yung foundation schedule. Floor framing, kasama yung beam and column. Ayan. Dito naman, ang kasama niya is roof beam tsaka yung framing plan. So okay din siya pero more on yung pagkaka-present natin should be presentable at hindi siya crowded. So yun yung ina-expect ko sa inyo, aayusin nyo sa plate nyo later on. Okay? And then there are different types of drawings applied sa ating industry. So pero let's just focus doon sa ating structural drawings or sa ating structural aspect. So ito yung at least types of drawings. Una yung structural drawings, which consist of setting out of concrete structure on-site, plans, sections, elevations, yung mga details, mga tawag dito, mga ano pa, specs, ayan. Then cross-references, yung mga notes, north point, okay? So puntahan natin yung example kong plan. So ito namang hinahanap ko sa inyo, this is a complete set of structural drawings. So ito siya. So meron tayong notes. Sa notes nakalagay dito everything. I think yung iba sa inyo hindi ganito ka-complete yung notes. Okay, so later pag-usapan natin to kasi ito yung papagawa ko sa inyo plate. Ito mismo yung kay Kaalam bago tayo mag-proceed sa mismong plano na pinasa nyo. Ayan. And then part of it yung ating yung plans, mga details, etc. So yan yung usually it consists of the structural drawings. And then north point, napansin ko yung iba hindi na naglalagay ng north point. Pero dapat may north point pa rin tayo kasi plan yan. Eto, usually yung north point nilalagay na lang nila sa site development plan. Pero it won't hurt naman if we would be adding that dito sa drawing. Lagay lang tayo ng symbol dito ng north niya. Okay, kasi plan yan eh. Okay? Then, another type of drawing is reinforcement drawing. So, ito naman, yung drawings na may mga reinforcing bars. May detail about the rebars and then kung saan sila maglalagay ng mga bakal and so on. So, an example of those is a sheet containing, balikan natin yung example, part siya ng structural drawings containing, ano ba yun? This one, ito. Ayan. Pero it's a drawing na parang ganito siya. Ito, parang ganito. Puntahan ko lang yung isa kong example. Mas complete ito. Ito. Yan, parang ganito. So, sheet dedicated sa ating structural or sa reinforcement drawings. Ayan, more on reinforcement. Schedules, ano pa? Another schedules. Yung iba more on, may bar bending. I think meron akong bar bending example dun sa isa. Ano ba yun? Parang dito. Bar bending meaning kung paano i-bend tuloy. I-bend yung bakal. Ano ba yun? Ito, yan, bar bending. Ayan. Okay, so those are the details for the reinforcement. On the other hand, another types of drawing is standard details. So yung mga details na nakita niya, detail ng stairs, detail ng little beam, or detail ng anything. So papalikan natin yung drawing. So what are the details? Ayan. Detail ng wall footings, detail ng footing with taper, detail ng connections. Ayan. So these are another types of drawings na nandun sa ating drawing set. Ayan, yung sa stairs, etc. Now, aside from that, so aside from the standard details, so we also have diagrams. So normally we don't have diagrams sa structural, pero if there are, yun, so it should be a separate sheet. Pero yung diagram normally nakikita ko sa mga mechanical drawing. Okay, and then lastly, for the record drawings or as-built, so ito naman, ang difference nito versus doon sa detail drawing natin or sa design drawing natin is that yung design drawing or the construction drawings often created before the construction. Once that the construction is done, that's the time that we will create another drawing. Kumbaga, ang ito-drawing na natin doon, ano yung ginawa sa site, ano yung nilagay natin sa site. Ang tawag doon, as-built drawings. Okay? So, ang difference again nung dalawa, yung isa, constructed na, yung isa, hindi pa. Tsaka may mga cases na kung ano yung actual design intent na alter na siya as the construction progress. So, dapat indicated na yun sa as-built. Abbreviation used in detailing and drawing. So, ito yung mga normal na makikita yung mga abbreviation. So, ito yung at least ibig sabihin niya. Pero doon sa general notes, makikita nyo naman, mas kompleto. Pero ito, example lang to. Like, FS full size, NTS not to scale, diameter ganito yung symbol, or eto center line CL, FFL finish floor level, etc. Ayan. So ano, nandito siya. Pag pinuntahan natin 'tong example, meron dito eto, abbreviation. Hindi pwedeng wala ito. Kasi kapag may mga binanggit ka sa plan, katulad nito, hanap tayo. Eto, pagka hindi mo 'to nilagay sa abbreviation, hindi nila alam ano yung ano na 'yan, fee, 'di ba? Symbol ng fee 'yan, PHI. So, pagka hindi 'yan nakalagay do'n, tignan nga natin, oh wala. So, dapat meron 'yan. Although that is automatically understandable na that indicates diameter, pero dapat nandito pa din 'yan. Okay? Ayun. Then, for the paper size that are used, so normally ang ginagamit natin dito is 20 by 30 or A1 for other cases. Ayun. So, the paper size available is from A0 to A4. Yung A0 na gamit ko na to before sa trabaho, kapag infrastructure projects or ano, or parang site-wide development project, talagang malaki yung papel. Pero normally A1, mas maliit siya ng by half doon sa A0. Ang paper size kasi natin yung A4, pag times 2 mo yan, A3 ang size nun. Yung A3 times 2 mo, A2, A2 times 2 mo, A1, A1 times 2 mo, A0. So, ganun yung sizes niya. Papapansin mo, ito times 2 mo yan, times 2 mo to. Yan yung sizes niyan. Okay? Ayun. Now, for the margin, normally we have that 0.5, should be at least 0.5. Pero kung gusto mo 0.1 mm or whatever you wish to, walang problema naman doon. Up 0.1 tuloy. 20 or 10 mm. Ito is yung border thickness. Now, for the location of title block, you may copy this kind of title block doon sa plate or kahit sa actual project nyo na nandito sa baba. Pero again, it's up to you. Meron ako naging project before na yung title block. Nandito lang sa corner na to. Ganyan lang. And then the rest, eto pwede mong lagyan ng drawing to. Ano yun? Not sure kung may gumagamit tong dito pero na-encounter ko yon sa American projects doon sa yung dati namin company nung nag-work pa ako sa ano sa US based company, tapos another one nung sa Japan yung project, nandito yung title block ng company. Again, case to case basis yung location ng ating title block kung saan gusto, or kung mayroong requirement si LGU or si client, yun. So sundin lang natin. Pero kung wala, bahala kayo kung saan nyo gustong ilagay. Pero again, yung mga content naman niya pare-pareho lang yan eh. Probably the reason why maliit kasi ito, ang laki na sinasakop ng coverage nung company name. Pwede namang maliit. Okay? So, ayun. Going back. So, another thing that should be understood doon sa ating plan are the levels and elevations. So, normally, whenever we create a plan, so we locate yung benchmark as a reference kung saan ilo-locate yung property boundary, lalo sa site. And then later on, kung ano yung elevation niya, kung may reference tayo in terms of elevation. So for the benchmark, may iwasan natin dito na magkaroon tayo ng overlapping or encroachment with the other property, yung adjacent property, na later on pwedeng mauwi sa ano to, sa sa what they call this, hindi arbitration eh, na pwede mauwi sa kasuhan. Ayun na lang, hindi ko maisip yung other term. Pwedeng mauwi sa kasuhan. Yun. So, with that, so we should make sure na meron tayong reference ng benchmark. Now, kapag ka nag-encroach pa rin tayo sa pananaw nung other party, so we should be able to have our own survey for validation kapag nagkaroon na ng arbitration para doon sa sa final location of the property boundary. Kailangan kasi ma-solve yun. Okay? And then another thing, yung datum, yung level. So, isa rin yun sa tinitingnan kasi mayroong mga projects na na relevant yung mga RLs or yung relative level. So, we should be able to determine that whether it is based on a certain datum level or based sa mean sea level, okay? Or based on ano lang, yung level lang sa exist sa natural um, natural floor elevation. Ayan. Now, eto example of the usage of the abbreviation, yung FFL, which is the finished floor line, and then the SSL, the structural slab line. Now, yung level dito na SSL, so sabihin natin that's 12 meters, probably above the ground level. So yung thickness natin dito is just 40. Hindi na siya nakalagay ng 12.4. So ano ibig sabihin nito kung babasahin ko to? Kung ito yung level ng slab, okay, at 12 meters, now yung finished floor, so maglalagay ka pa ng mga topping or yung tiles or yung mga mortar tsaka yung grouts. So kakapal pa yung sahig by 40 millimeters. So ito yung ibig sabihin yan. Okay? And then yon that's how we read that um, informations. So going back with the learning objectives. So yung ang hindi ko na lang napapasadahan dito yung different projections, symbols and patterns. Puntahan natin yan sa actual plan. And then dimensioning, detailing procedure, alam nyo naman na to, tsaka ito, importance, so nasabi na natin yan. So puntahan natin yung plan kung paano babasahin. So pagbigay tayo ng example. So ito yung plan. So normally general notes. So naka-indicate dito yung any details about the specifications normally na materials na gagamitin on site. Kung wala kayo nito at hindi complete, there should be another separate document which is the construction specifications na much detailed siya sa nakalagay dito. Now, aside from this one, so whenever we present mga sections, so there are times na pwede tayong maglagay ng hatches or pwedeng hindi. So understandable naman yan na kahit wala siyang hatch na ang material nito is concrete pa din kasi meron naman na tayong rebar. Wala ka namang ibang construction element sa site na nalalagyan mo na rebar maliban sa concrete. Well, pwede kayo maglagay again, ng hatches, pwedeng hindi. Now, with that, so please make sure that the presentation of the hatches would not impede yung itsura ng ating detail. Katulad nito, halos pareha sila ng line weight or ng kulay. If I would be the one who will be doing this, I will opt to make this lighter or mas manipis yung line weight para hindi niya kapareho yung lining ng rebar. Or sometimes yung rebar can be done into solid line or pwede rin ganito na para double line to represent the both edges of the rebar. The other hand naman, ano pa ba? Ayan, presentation ng mga bending. So basically, ganito siya. And then there are dimensions. So class, I would suggest whenever you dimension, eto natutunan ko to, para kapag nagalaw nyo yung measure, yung isang end ng dimension line, hindi siya yung umiikot. 'Di ba kapag ang ginamit mo dim align, pwede mo siyang i-locate anywhere kung saan yung point. Ang gamitin nyo, dimension linear. So, i-change nyo lang yung UCS. For example, para dito. Kunwari, ang susukatin nyo naka-diagonal. So, ayusin nyo lang muna yung UCS na ang ano niya, na ang orientation niya pa ganyan. Tapos gamit kayo ng dimension linear para 'di ba pag nagka-dimension ng ganyan, tapos pinik nyo to, normally kapag ka-align ng ginamit nyo, umiikot yan gumaganon yan, 'di ba? Ngayon, pagka hindi, ay kapag dahil naka-dimension linear yan, pag hinila nyo to, ang movement lang niyan papunta dito or papunta sa kabilang side. Okay? Considering na ganito kayo, kahit ibalik nyo siya sa UCS World, walang problema. As long as na ang gamitin nyo is align. Kasi may mga cases na lumilipad ang dimension na ganito kapag may nagalaw doon sa drawing. So hindi siya lilipad kapag ganito yung case natin. Okay, so suggestion lang yan. If you want to improve your workmanship pagdating sa CAD. Minsan na kasi ako naging somehow parang CAD operator first 2 years of my career habang tinuturuan ako mag-design, so nag-AutoCAD ako, kaya yung yung best practices in terms of CAD. So hindi siya ganoon kadali kasi merong mga ways of doing CAD na mailulusot mo, pero yung there are best practices pa din para ma-improve yung workmanship natin sa CAD. Okay? On the other hand, ito yung mga abbreviation or symbols, ayan, which is supposedly here, yung sinabi natin. Ayan. And then, ayan. So, ito yung at least content of whatever it should be in the general notes. For the plan, punta tayo sa mas magandang plan. Ito, for the plan, so, the presentation of the footing normally in broken line, katulad nito, tapos solid line yung grade beam or yung footing tie beam natin. So yung mga wall footing ganyan, so hidden 'yan. Kasi 'di ba, hindi naman sila pantay sa actual. So eto yung footing natin mas malalim siya. Tapos yung wall footing mas malalim pa ng konti dito. Nakalubog siya kung ito footing nakalubog to by 1,100, si wall wall footing is nakalubog naman by 600. Now, yung grade beam natin siya yung nasa ibabaw, that's the reason why siya yung naka-solid line. So, di ba ang turo sa atin sa drafting, kapag we want to present a line na nasa likod nung part of the object, so we are always represented by hidden line. So, ganun siya. And then, eto, mapapansin nyo, yung mga column shaded in black. And then may isang column dito, hindi siya shaded in black. Parang hatch siya ng pa-diagonal. We normally do that kapag yung column is end column or terminated na. Ibig sabihin, on that floor, second floor ba to? Second floor, hindi na puputulin na yun sa second floor. Wala na siyang kadugtong papuntang roof or wala na siyang kadugtong papuntang third floor. An example of that is, for example, this one. Ulitin ko itong drawing ko. For example, meron kang bahay. Kunwari, ito yung section. Tapos ito yung foundation natin. Tapos nandito yung natural grade line. Then, may balcony. Okay? Sa second floor framing plan, itong poste na to, naka-solid siya na, pagka ginawa natin siya, mayroon kang column dito, di ba? Kunwari, both sides lang. Dito, dito. So dito, solid na solid yung hatch. Pagdating dito sa dalawa, nakapadiagonal lang na ganun. Okay? Kasi, etong apat na to, continuous yan pataas. May kadugtong pa yan, whether third floor or roof, roof beam. Pero continuous pa siya. Ngayon dito, since terminated na siya, pagdating mo ng dito, let's say this is a balcony. Okay, so may hatch siya ng ganyan. Kung open lang. So, para malaman na yung bakal dito, later on, pwede nang putulin or i-bed na nila ng nakaganon doon sa poste. Kasi, yun nga, hindi naman na necessary. I-continue pa yung haba ng bakal kasi wala na siyang kadugtong. So, yun yung ibig sabihin nito nung may hatch na to. On the presentation naman ng slab, normally, ito, kailangan lang natin ma-identify kung that is an opening. Ito, kita na may mali. Kasi kapag base slab tayo, okay, so normally nilalagay natin kung that is S1 or S2. Ito, walang designation. Kulang to, walang designation if that is S1 or S2. Or if that is S, so X lang. Normally pag X kasi butas. Like this one, X pero nilagay niya ng stairwell. Normally again, pag X open, then pagka may S, that is may slab. So diyan mo malalaman kung babakalan mo ba siya or bubutasin mo siya. Pero sa case nito meron to eh. Ito yung stairwell. Kung we will be checking that sa architectural plan, ito yan. Second floor. So meron yan dito. Dito yan. Tapos ito yung opening niya ng, or ito ba yun? Tapos ito yung opening ng stairs which is walang slab. Okay? Pero ako, ang pinapagawa ko para iba is that ganito. Kung ito yung slab, meron akong arrow if that's one way or two way. Tapos designation ng S1 kung pang ilang slab siya or S1 or S2. Pag may open naman, may X tapos may word lang na open or stairwell. Okay? Kasi yung X door normally correspond sa butas. Okay? Pero again, depende yon sa diskarte ng design engineer natin. Ano pa ba? Balikan natin. Ito, sa framing, well, ano naman to, can be presented lang by line. Naka-call out naman yan dito kung anong klaseng sizes ng ating mga bakal. So yan, naka-indicate naman dito. And then, ano pa, punta tayo sa details. Sa stairs, may stairs ba dito? Ito yung ating may stairs eh. Eto, stairs. So normally, ganito yung presentation natin. Makikita natin yung mga bakal sa stairs. Normally, hindi na hinahatch, pero pwede rin. Pero yun lang, ang importante kasi dito is the location of the rebar. Ayan. Nung ating stairs. Tapos kung meron siyang footing, etc. May drawing dito na may nakita akong ano eh. Close ko. Merong lintel beam o dito ata yun. Ito ba? Hindi. But anyway, yun. Yung iba nakalagay kung saan maglalagay ng lintel beams. That is for the wall. Check natin kung meron to. Wala ito. Ito. Wala din ito. Lintel beam. Wala. So, dito na lang. Anyway, ano pa ba? I think that's it for the kung paano natin pine-present. So basically, just check this one and then you need to improve kung paano nila pine-present, like yung mga line weight, line type, mga text heights, yan. Now, aside from that, ano pa ba? I think yun lang. Those are the things. Makikita nyo naman yun sa actual pagka binasa nyo na yung mga plano nyo. So yun yung mga patterns, symbols, projections na makikita nyo. Normally for the elevation, yung term na section and elevation, sa ano natin yan makikita sa architectural and elevation. Elevation meaning yung view sa harap, view sa gilid. Section, pag pag kinat mo yung plano, section B and section A. So anong itsura niya sa loob. Sa structural, we don't normally have that, pero more on, meron kang detail ng plan, pag kinat mo, anong section niya. Yun yung cross-section kung tawagin. Okay? Yung longitudinal section, yun yung magkakat ka ng isang buo. Pero normally, that is being projected sa architectural plan. I think that's it. That's all for this for all this lesson. So in case that you have any questions on how to understand more yung plan, so just let me know para masagot ko kayo. Pero yun, more on ano naman to sa beam, like sa beam kung paano na naman natin babasahin yung schedules. Kunwari second floor. Pag second floor, diyan na natin i-construct yung mga biga. So B1 ang section ng biga ganito. Okay? Pagka pagka footing and column, C1 F1, so ito yung mga dimensions niya, tapos ganito yung itsura niya kung paano i-construct. So basically ano naman, straightforward naman yung designation ng mga ID nung structural members para ma-identify natin doon sa plan. Tsaka yung nasa detail. Ito namang ano, detail na 'to, ito naman yung paglalagay ng location ng bakal sa site. So ito susundan nila kung nasaan yung top bar, bottom bar, yung mga extra bottom bars at midspan, et cetera. Ayan. Okay? Any question? May question, class, doon sa discussion? So with that, so baka wala kayong question kasi wala pa akong pinapagawa. Ngayon may papagawa na ako sa inyo. Magiging busy na kayo for the next 3 weeks. So next week, meron kayong assignment, isasubmit siya next week. Kaka-post ko lang pala by the way. Ayan, yung iba nag-heart na sa inyo. Is eto. So for the first assignment, so we have ano, so just search lang sa NSCP. Ang reference nyo dito NSCP. Bago nyo i-check online, make sure na yung sagot nyo nanggaling muna sa NSCP. Kasi yung mga nandito sa NSCP, yun din yung makikita nyo usually doon sa general notes. Now, ano ba yung mga makikita natin doon? Concrete cover. Ayan, so ito yung assignment ko sa inyo. Ano yung mga different concrete cover at tuwing kailan ginagamit, ano yung clauses niya? Types of rebars and then bar sizes and commercial length. So pwede siyang handwritten or typewritten. Make sure na naka A4, naka PDF, tapos submit nyo siya online. Ito email ko, ito yung subject ng email, wag nyo nang dagdagan ng kahit na ano. Tapos ito yung file name, ito yung example. That is due on September 27, 11:59 PM. On the other hand naman, yung plate, pag-usapan na natin yung plate. Yung plate will be submitted the week after. So, that would be submitted on October 4. Ito yung subject sa email din, through email din. Tapos, example ng file name. So, kailangan ko ng PDF and CAD. Okay? Now, ignore nyo tong A4 kasi hindi pala A4 yung isa. So, anong gagawin nyo sa plate? Una, front page. Pangalawa, general notes. Iseset ko sa inyo itong general notes na pinapakita ko kanina pa. Ito, yung kay Kaalam. Kasi mas maganda to, almost complete. So, gagawin nyo dito, i-retype nyo lang naman. I-arrange nyo. Tapos, yun, yan, itong 2 pages na to. Now, kung meron kayong general notes, i-edit nyo na lang yung other information dito to somewhat um, connect with your own general notes. Ito kasi almost complete to eh. 2 pages. Yung iba kasi maiksi lang yung general notes. Ano ba yun? Ito katulad dito, ang iksi ng general notes. Kung meron ditong ano, katulad nito, basahin yung general notes, i-include nyo to dito sa general notes na binigay ko kung meron dapat baguhin. Kasi project specific. Pero kung wala, as is where is naman to. Standard din naman to. Then, yun, ito yung ikakad nyo. Make sure na naka-print sa A1. A1 yung paper size natin, class ha. And then, balikan natin yung ano. So, make sure na yung general notes is ginawa nyo sa model space. Yun yung unang requirement. Nasa model space. Since nasa model space siya, gagamit kayo ng layout tab. Di ba dun sa CAD, merong model, tas layout na dalawa, or pwede nyo dagdagan na kung gaano kadami. So sa layout tab, doon nyo ilalagay yung title block. Make sure na naka-xref yung title block. Gawa kayo ng sarili yung title block. Pag sinend nyo yung CAD ng general notes, isend nyo din yung CAD ng title block para makikita ko yung xref nyo. Now, aside from that, yung ano to, yung gagawin nyo sa CAD from now on hanggang sa lahat ng plate, make sure na naka-layer kayo kasi yun yung isa sa mga titingnan ko. Naka-layer, naka ano to, hindi kayo gagamit ng zero lang, baka may naka-zero kayo lahat. So make sure na naka-layer kayo. Gawa kayo ng sarili yung layer. I don't mind kung anong klaseng layer ang gusto nyo. And then, make sure na lahat ng entity sa CAD nyo naka-by-layer. Yung by-layer yung color, by-layer yung line weight, line type, etc. Okay? Kung gusto nyong i-alter yon sa layer nyo mismo siya i-edit para lahat siya naka-by-layer. Kasi that's one of the good practices sa industry na naka-by-layer lahat. Yung hindi gumagamit ng ng yung nag-a-assign ka ng kulay or ng line weight kahit may sariling kulay or line weight yung layer na ginagamit mo. Kaya ka nga nagle-layer eh. Yun yung purpose nun. Okay? And then yun, make sure na naka-A1 siya. So wag niyo lang kalimutan lagyan ng pangalan ha, yung plano nyo, tsaka yung front page. Sa front page wala naman akong requirement kung meron kayong magandang front page from other subject, kopyahin nyo lang yun, edit nyo lang para sa subject natin. And then lastly, gawa kayo ng discussion and recommendation. Sa discussion, ilalagay nyo lang doon, ano ba yung ginawa kong process? Baka i-chat GPT nyo pa. Pag ako nakakita dyan ng isi-zero ko yung discussion tsaka recommendation part nyo pag nag-chat GPT kayo. Kasi i-discuss nyo lang ano mismo yung ginawa nyo based sa tinuro ko. Based kasi sa experience ko, pag nagpapagawa ako nito, china-chat GPT, pati yung hindi ko pa tinuturo, ginawa nyo na, eh hindi naman yun yung content ng plate. So basically, nag-chat GPT. Huwag na kayo mag-chat GPT. Kung gusto nyo mag-chat GPT, you can use that. I don't discourage you. I encourage you just to improve your vocabulary. Pero huwag naman si chat GPT yung gagawa nung nung write up nyo kasi hindi siya responsible use of AI. Okay? Kasi andyan na yung AI, wala na ako magagawa diyan. So just use it to its potential pero make sure na alam nyo yung ginagawa nyo pa din. And then lastly, for the recommendation, lagay lang kayo, ano ba yung pwede nyo mai-recommend based sa experience nyo doon sa ginawa nyong plate 1, ano ba yung mai-recommend nyo na things to improve or mai-comment nyo siguro na na things na okay siyang ipagpatuloy. Okay, so yun lang naman. Siguro for discussion and recommendation, mga roughly around 7 to 10 sentences would do. Hindi niyo naman kailangan magsulat ng parang makabang nobela diyan kasi as long as na it is understandable, wala namang problema with the content. Okay? And then lastly, yon, we will be having our first quiz next week. Ang ating coverage will be puntahan ko lang itong lecture natin. Yung first two topics pa lang. Etong dalawa. Okay? Now, kung tatanungin niyo ako ano yung examination type, so wala pa ako nagagawang exam, gagawin ko pa lang. Pero definitely walang computation kasi wala naman akong tinuturong computation. Siguro most likely identification, enumeration, or essay writing lang din. Kasi yun lang naman yung tinuturo ko more procedural. Kasi yung yung knowledge na makukuha nyo sa akin should be reflected talaga sa plate. Okay? Yun. Do you have any questions? Walang questions? O sige. Kung wala na kayong question, let me just download yung ating. Yes, Lloyd.
May question lang po, sir. Sa assignment po, sir, may specific format po ba, sir, sa content po?
Wala
Yung
naman.
assignment po.
Wala naman. Sundin nyo lang to kung ano yung pinapagawa ko sa assignment. Lagay nyo. Concrete cover, then yung sagot. 2, typical types of reinforcement bar, sagot. Tapos explanation, ganyan. Tapos rebar, ganun. Yung bar sizes in commercial link, sagot. Ganun lang. Wala namang kasi hindi naman wala naman siyang format. More on more on completeness lang depende kung ano yung pinapa-require ko. Yun. Meron pang
Sige po, sir.
question?
Thank you po.
Sige, okay. Meron pa, may hahabol pa? Na-download ko na yung attendance Going once, twice, so wala na. Sige class, I will just stop the recording kung wala ng question.